Hello and welcome to the Encouragement Advice Workshop. My name is Frank Marinko. I'm an International Director with Empathinko, which is an acronym for Empathic Thinking Organisations. I'm an executive coach in Australia to C-suite executives, lawyers and directors of corporations and universities. I've been in this work now for over 20 years. Empathinko has partners in Australia, India and the Netherlands, and we work with our stakeholders to create a better world. I'm facilitating this immersive workshop using encouragement advice to increase your motivation and confidence when facing challenging obstacles or realizing potential. I'll be your guide and coach to help you get the best out of yourself and others and become an expert in giving encouragement advice based on your been there and done that experience. For organizations and groups in the Indian subcontinent and the Middle East, my colleague Shakti Ghoshal will provide support, and in Europe, my colleague Joost de Langen will do likewise. We're inviting you today in this workshop to choose a challenge to overcome or a potential to realize in any area of your life and create encouraging advice in this workshop and then give that encouraging advice away to someone else. We guarantee you will become a more motivated and confident version of yourself by doing so. Motivation. I urge you, you can totally do this. Think about this. What do you do to motivate yourself when you're struggling with goal achievement? Are there any effective strategies and techniques that work for you? The insight that maybe when people are struggling with goal achievement, what they lack is not really knowledge, it's the motivation to put their knowledge into action. This insight led to this counterintuitive idea that if people are struggling with goals, maybe they would benefit as much or even more from giving advice to other people than from receiving it. It seems we may not be experts in nudging or how to design an incentive, but we may be experts about ourselves. You see, research shows that giving encouragement advice motivated givers by raising their confidence, a reality that people who are struggling to reach their goals with fail to anticipate. In the process of giving advice, advisors may form specific intentions and lay out concrete plans of action, both of which increase motivation and achievement. Approximately 72% of people who engaged in the research studies were more motivated by giving advice than receiving it, the authors of the research we're using stated. We want to offer you the opportunity to become expert at designing and giving encouragement advice from your own experience and benefiting from it beyond your wildest dreams. So please watch this video link of John Shadforth, an eminent businessman, discussing the benefits of giving encouragement advice. Give advice, it's good for you. Research found that people struggling to achieve goals incorrectly assumed that they needed expert advice to succeed. In fact, they were better helped by doling out advice. Giving advice motivated givers by raising their confidence, a reality that people who were struggling to reach their goals failed to anticipate. The findings were consistent across various experiments, including improving study habits, saving money, controlling tempers, losing weight, and looking for jobs. In the process of giving advice, advisors may form specific intentions and lay out concrete plans of action, both of which increase motivation and achievement, the authors wrote. The reason that giving advice may boost motivation starts with a bump in confidence that comes with being asked to deliver the advice, according to the researchers. To give advice, you need to sort through your thoughts and make a recommendation. That requires givers to search their own brains for examples of behavior that's worked successfully for them in the past, an exercise likely to boost confidence as well. Giving advice builds confidence. We think people do know in many ways what works best for them. It remains an open question as to why advice giving works, but one of our primary hypotheses, this act of stepping into the advisor role, would raise confidence and increase motivation. People think that they're not achieving because they're lacking something, and often that lacking something is information. It's like, I don't have it within me. I have to go to a teacher or an expert or someone else who can give me what I lack. We believe that we are insufficiently well informed. To the degree to which you're lacking confidence, it seems like just being repositioned into the role of a giver versus a receiver can give you everything you need. We've gathered some evidence for this, and the evidence is that it really builds your confidence. I can't emphasize enough, the act of giving advice forces you to focus on the things that you already know how to do versus things you don't. Choose an area of life to work on. The image on this slide is linked to a URL. If you click on the image, the link will take you to the current situation Wheel of Life mind map that we've created on a Mindomo site. You can copy the mind map and use it for this section of the program. So I want you to ask yourself, in what area of my life am I putting up with, trying to fix, or tolerating some challenge that I want to overcome or potential that I want to realize? Now, that challenge or potential realization is often dressed in the clothes of a complaint. It may go like, I'm under constant financial pressure. I want to be able to pay my bills on time. Or the complaint may be, my job doesn't pay enough to support the lifestyle I want. I want to get a promotion or a better paying job. Or my team doesn't meet their current goals. I want to become a better manager and have my team win. Or maybe my home doesn't meet the standards I set for a lovely home. I want to live in a better home. Now, if you're working with your manager during this program, you may want to choose an area of life located in your career or your workplace. In our superhero program, we go further and have you do an audit of time and money that you spent in the areas of your life that you say you're committed to. Understanding there's a huge gap between what you say you're committed to doing and what you actually do will leave you with many openings for action. The Mindomo mind map graph. On the screen, you'll see an image of a wheel of life, and the wheel of life is broken down into 5 main areas and then 2 sub areas in each of those main areas. The sub-areas are spirituality, money and finance, career and work, health and fitness, fun and recreation, environment, community, family and friends, partners and love, growth and learning. And you'll see in the graph there is numbering from 1 to 10. I'd like you to score your level of commitment in the areas of life on the graph and then choose an area of life you're committed to overcoming a challenge in or realizing potential. And I want you to ask yourself, what aspect of that area of life are you going to work on in this program? What would overcoming a challenge in that particular area of life look like? What would realizing potential in this aspect of life look like? And I'd like you to write down that description in your workbook. And this then becomes the focus of our encouragement advice for the rest of the program. If you've chosen career because you're working on this program in the workplace, here are some of the examples of the aspects in career that there could be. The aspects on the slide are the most common we deal with when we work with the range of clients. Or it may be in some aspect in other when we get there that you want to work on. So the other is something that we don't mention in one of the images here today. If the area of life you want to work on is not in career or work, choose an area of life and create an aspect that's important to you and write it in your workbook. This aspect again becomes the focus of your encouragement advice. So choose an aspect of life to work on. As an example, I'm going to choose the aspect of my career and work classified as sales success, in which I wish to be encouraged. My example: what would overcoming the challenge or realizing the potential look like? Well, the potential I wish to realize in a post-COVID world will be generating revenue, doing the career work of workshop facilitation and executive coaching in Australia, India, and the Middle East and Netherlands, starting again with a new model of operation and a proven structure for sales success. So create your examples in your workbook. What would realizing potential in this aspect of life look like? Our working model would move from face-to-face to online, and our team would develop new skills in creating online workshops and online executive coaching. This would then become our norm rather than, to a large extent, face-to-face work, and we would replace that face-to-face work with online operations. We are going to use the encouragement model. So there's an encouragement advice model, which we have used a number of times, and you can totally do this. We're combining research on giving advice with research on encouragement theory to create a foundation upon which you can develop your expertise for giving encouragement advice. So Professor Joel Wong of Indiana University defines effective encouragement as an expression through language or symbolism that instills strength in the recipient, which may allow them to address perceived limitations in overcoming a challenge or realizing potential. And we'll use his tripartite encouragement model in this workshop. Now, to develop effective encouragement messages of advice, to strengthen your ability to instill strengths, overcome challenges, and realize the potential of what may be possible through giving encouragement advice, and to develop your strengths of confidence, courage, hope, inspiration, and perseverance by creating a group culture of encouragement. Creating encouragement advice. The first part of creating encouragement advice is focus. So in the first part, we're going to focus our encouragement advice on the question: is it a challenge to overcome, or is it a potential to realize? And write down in your workbook the focus of your encouragement advice. I'll reiterate: is the focus of your encouragement advice a challenge to overcome or potential that you wish to realize? Creating your encouragement advice. Part 2 is features. There are 3 facets to the features of the model we're using. Framing the advice. So are you using language to deliver the advice, or are you using some sort of symbolic representation, be it a book, a card, a gift? Second, perceived credibility. Does your advice refrain from emphasizing social comparisons? Does your advice enhance the recipient's competence or autonomy? Is the advice outcome attributable to controllable causes? Are the expectations in the advice realistic? And is the advice delivered in a sincere and authentic manner? The third facet is perceived trustworthiness. Do you have a perceived expertise in the context of the advice or know the recipient well? Write down in your workbook the answers to the questions posed in this slide. Creating encouragement advice, part 3. Levels. There are 3 facets to the levels of the model we are using. The first facet is the advice is an act of interpersonal communication. An effective advice communicates an affirmation that will instill confidence in a person who's feeling discouraged. Does your advice do this? Encouragement can be conceptualized as a trait, a character strength, which can be developed or taught. The practice of encouragement benefits both the recipient and the encourager. Research shows that the benefits accrue more to the encourager as the giver. Some people will be better at it than others. What are your signature traits? And third facet is group norm. Does your organization have a strong culture valuing encouragement and shared perceptions about the frequency and effectiveness of encouragement? Write down in your workbook to the answers to questions 1, 2, and 3. The benefits of encouragement advice. Using the tripartite model, you can totally do this. When we create and give encouragement advice effectively, the benefits are many. You develop greater competence and confidence and motivation in conceptualizing and delivering effective advice. Your encouragement advice instills strengths in the recipient and elevates their well-being, allowing them to address a perceived limitation in overcoming a challenge or realizing their true potential. Your group's culture of support and encouragement expands, and the benefits associated with elevated well-being, such as greater productivity and lower costs, enhanced customer satisfaction and retention, higher quality output, all prevail. What is your encouragement advice you've created in the area of life that you've chosen using our framework? Now, I'm going to do my encouragement advice as an example to me for you. I'm using the tripartite encouragement advice model, and knowing that when we use the model, we can totally do this. Here's the advice to me. Frank, to realize the potential of sales success, I need to use structures that take actions that forward my commitments every day. I experience great comfort and confidence when I use my proven sales structures. By knowing my personality type, my signature strengths, and my PERMA levels of positivity, it enables me to understand my default nature, take the focus of my self-importance, focus on others, and take promised actions. Using critical thinking to analyze my purpose has enormous benefits for me, which contribute to making the right decisions or avoiding making the wrong decisions. Collaboration with my stakeholders so that I can contribute to or satisfy their important issues expands my leadership. When I create games to overcome challenges or realize potential and use a coach to uncover my hidden competing commitments that sabotage my success, my life works and I realize my potential. That's my contribution of encouragement advice to me. Now, a little bit about what coaches do. And we constantly encourage, yes, you totally can do this. We work with you and coach you to succeed. Now, whether that success is in overcoming a challenge or realizing potential in your life. We know that the world is filled to the brim with all the information you'll ever need to succeed. It's known as the maddening insufficiency of being well informed. However, information alone is insufficient for you to realize the goals that you're most committed to. If it was, you'd all be the right weight, healthy, working passionately in jobs that you love and engaged in extraordinary relationships. But for the most part, you're not. We support you with structures and conversations that we've developed that call you out on your self-sabotage. We do our most effective work in that area that's hidden from your view. We work to uncover your competing commitments that sabotage your success. Your life will expand with confidence, courage, hope, inspiration and perseverance when you encourage those around you to uncover the hidden competing commitments that obstruct success. We coach you to do that. So what's next for you? As you can see on the screen, the image above the "you can totally do this" is the link to our superhero program online. If you've realized you have a huge game to play and you need a coach, we'll work with you and coach you to succeed. You can check out the mind map for the superhero game online game structure if you wish to engage in playing a huge game to realize your potential or overcome a challenge. If you accept the challenge of being a superhero in your life, we'll support you with structures and regular conversations that call you on your self-sabotage and assist you to uncover your competing commitments that continually sabotage your success. If you want to inquire about engaging in our program or executive coaching support, call me on the number below or email me at that email address. If you got all that you came for in this workshop, thank you for your participation. We hope it was of value to you. Thank you. On behalf of our international directors, Shakti Gosal, Joost de Langen, and myself, Frank Marinko, we'd like to say thank you and we hope to see you soon in our superhero workshop. Our mantra is, we encourage you to become an outrageous encourager and expand confidence, courage, hope, inspiration, and perseverance in your life and the lives of others by giving encouraging advice to others using our model. Thanks again. If you wish to contact us, in Australia, Frank Marinko, in India and the Middle East, Shakti Gosal, and in Europe, Joost de Langen. Remember, you can totally do this. There are our websites at the bottom. Thanks again.